The government of Eritrea held a conference this past weekend hosting Somali opposition leaders, including some of whom the U.S. has branded terrorists. U.S. officials have threatened to add Eritrea to its list of state sponsors of terror, accusing it of funneling weapons to Somali fighters. The Eritrean government denies the accusations, saying they're helping rebuild war-torn Somalia. Eritrean Americans are lobbying the U.S. State Department, fighting to keep their country off the so-called state terror list and clear up what they say are misunderstandings between the two countries. Well, for more, we're joined now by Dr. Haile Mezghebe from the Organization of Eritrean Americans. Dr. Mezghebe, American officials are threatening to add Eritrea on the so-called list of state sponsors of terror. Are the accusations they're leveling against Eritrea fair accusations?
No, they're not. I think if you look at the facts, the evidence supposedly that came to support this is very flawed. It's by a very shaky organization that was put together to make it look like it was a legitimate UN-based fact-finding organization. But when you look at the facts, it really was put together by elements that have a vested interest in demonizing the government of Eritrea, demonizing the president of the country. And then
why would the U.S. do so? I mean, they do say that they accuse the Eritrean government of destabilizing Somalia, of funneling weapons to some Somalis.
But the facts speak against it. I think that this guy, Victor Booth, is the one who really has been funneling ammunition to Somalia, and Eritrea really haven't had a role in that. And if you look last year, before the Ethiopia invaded Somalia, there was supposedly a fact-finding mission from the UN that discovered that there were 2,000 Eritreans in Somalia. None were found, and it was totally fabricated. I think the same thing is happening. I think that this whole thing is really based on really misinformation, and I think it goes back to taking sides by the United States, which we think was, as Eritrean Americans, we think this is quite not fair. When you take sides with Ethiopia and then you lay the foundation so that Ethiopia's invasion of Somalia becomes justified, Eritrea's involvement trying to create peace between Somalia, the different factors becomes then a bona fide terrorist activity.
So you're saying the U.S. is biased in this conflict in the Horn of Africa, siding with Ethiopia and not with Eritrea. What is driving this anti-Eritrea campaign then, if we can call it that?
Well, we're actually Buffalo. I think to a certain extent it's actually a one-person driven campaign. Dr. Jendai Frazier, who's the Undersecretary of State, from the minute she's taken this position, she has become very passionate about attacking the government of Eritrea and the people of Eritrea and the state of Eritrea. And if you look at it from the best interest, the long best interest of the United States, it doesn't even serve the best interest of the United States. It doesn't serve the best interest of the region and the Horn of Africa. So we think that the best thing to do is play a moderate role where you bring the two elements together and you either win-win situation rather than somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. And I think that kind of mentality is quite harmful.
Dr. Haile Mezghebe of the Eritrean American Association, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We're now taking a short break, but still to come on Al Jazeera. It has been trying for years. Now Taiwan makes one more bid at rejoining the United Nations. And some have worked in Mexico's sex trade for decades. Now there's a home for the retired ladies of the evening.